Lord. Grand Summoners JP. They definitely did a thing, especially when it comes to Overlord crossover. We literally just got done talking about this crossover yesterday. We made a video talking about the characters and all that. If you guys want to go see what Albedo and Shaltir does, you guys can go see that. Just gonna let you guys know they're both really strong. And from that video alone, I was extremely hyped for this crossover. Finally, after all these years, it seems like they're putting a lot of thought into it. They're gonna make these characters super strong and make them extremely viable, which all those characters are still gonna be good. I have no doubt in my mind that the last few Overlord characters aren't gonna be like super OP. We know that they're gonna be broken. Ainz especially. I feel like they're saving up for Ainz. They're gonna make Ainz just stupidly OP. But there was some news, and let me say, this is the first time that we're going to be seeing, I guess, some JP developer drama. You know, global, we've been around the block, you know what I'm saying? In terms of global dev drama, with having Tensura for like 6+ months, with Juno not having a pity, but I think there was also a thing on JP. I don't know, you guys have to correct me down below in the comment section if this was a thing on JP too. I think it was, it might not have been, but who knows? But you know, Juno not having a pity, which I think is still top 5 scummiest things I've ever seen in any gacha game. I think like the last thing that was kind of like the most drama thing for both sides was the release of Super Awakenings, because whether you like them or not, just the way how they went about them was just atrocious, man. There was just so many other ways they could have went about it, but we unfortunately got the way that we have now on JP, and you know, soon to be global within the next few months, 6 months, who knows. But if you guys want to know what this big piece of drama is that's happened on the JP side of the game, well, Overlord is of course the brand new crossover in JP, and not only is the new crossover, it's going to be the first crossover ever to have Super Awoken characters in it. With the Super Awoken characters, usually they have an increased rate. Like for an example, Kirasame, War God Finn, all of them usually have about, I think, a 6% rate in the gacha, which people assumed that was what was going to be for Albedo, Shaltir, Ainz, and the other girl that I can't remember her name right now. But instead, they decided not to keep their rate the same. They actually lowered the rate for the Overlord characters on their banner. Yes, you heard me right. They nerfed the rate of the Super Awoken characters on the newest banners in JP. This doesn't go for all the Super Awoken characters in the future, from what I understand. This is only for this crossover at the moment. And also from what I understand as well, I think it's only these 2 characters on the banner anyway. But still, it's a scummy move, man. You drop the rate from 6% or 5.6, whatever it was, down to 2.5%. That's so just, it's not it. And I will say they did try to like appease the player base by giving everyone 200 crystals as an apology. Granted, this is going to be 200 free crystals, this isn't going to be 200 paid crystals, for a chance for you to maybe be able to pull these new characters. Me, myself, I don't like this entire situation. I think it's scummy, I think it's weird, and it just makes no sense. And it just also shows the lack of like, would I say creativity? I don't even know if I would say the lack of creativity. I think just the lack of awareness from the Grand Summoners team. You don't need to do these scummy practices to make a profit. There are tons of other gacha games that don't do this type of stuff that make more money and are more popular than Grand Summoners is. Granted, their IPs may be more established, or their IPs may have been around for a lot longer, and they just may be more popular because they have more money, they can promote it more. But the point still stands where they don't have to resort to such scummy tactics. They still do resort to scum tactics. Let me not, you know, get this messed up. Every single gacha game out there, no matter which one you're playing, every single one of them has scummy tactics in them, because you know why? They're a gacha game. That's the whole point of them. But it just really rubs me the wrong way, where this is a brand new crossover. It was an extremely hyped crossover, and the way how they usher it in is by lowering the rate from 5.6 to 2.8. Granted, the 200 crystals is nice, and it's a nice thing they do that, because they could have gave everyone nothing, but they didn't. They actually did decide to give the player base something. I just hope that they can find a better alternative to this in the future, because what's going to happen whenever we actually start getting like double Super Awoken characters on a banner that isn't crossover characters? Are they going to be at a lower rate? They're not going to have the 5.6% rate? Or, you know, whenever every character becomes Super Awoken eventually, you guys know what's going to happen. Are we going to get a decrease in rates, which means it's harder to pull the characters now that we want to get because, you know, they're newer? That was the whole thing. That was kind of like the counter argument to Super Awakening, was like, okay, you know, they're at least buffing the rate, so you will have a higher chance of getting these characters. Who knows exactly how it's all going to unfold, but me and myself, I just really hope, really hope that Grand Summoners can find a better way to handle a lot of this stuff that they're doing. From the business practices to the things that they're doing in JP to how crazy strong these characters are becoming, all of this just seems so unorganized. It's not well thought out. It seems like they're just like, okay, we don't really have a plan. We're just going to do this and kind of hope it works out and just release new characters and keep it pushing, which I feel like has kind of been their strategy for a long time, but it's really showing itself now. Either way, that's pretty much all I want to say on this. I could keep talking about my disappointment for the Grand Summoners team, the JP team, and you know, the global team, everybody, you know. I really try to defend these guys a lot of the time, and I really try to make sure people stay positive and try to really push for, okay, you know, these guys, maybe they kind of understand the player base just a tiny bit, or they know like what not to do, and they go and do stuff like this. And it's really hard to kind of be like, okay, well, yeah, I can't really defend you guys whenever you all do this, but either way, that's gonna be it. Thank you all for coming out, man. It's been your boy P. I'm disappointed, to say the least. Tell me how you guys feel, you know, down below in the comment section. I feel like most of us are going to be disappointed or upset or anything. Does this make the characters unpullable? No. Does it make it a lot harder to pull the characters? Absolutely. And with the gacha already being the way that it is in Grand Summoners, you guys know it's extremely hard to pull characters anyway. So yeah, we'll have to see how this all unfolds over the next few months, you know, going into new crossovers and more super awoken characters and everything. But that's going to be it for this one. Thank you all again for coming out. Been your boy P, and last but not least, don't forget to drink water.